Fully Charged Europe, episode 25. We've got a whole load of things on the agenda right now. We're going to start with everyone's favourite topic, Highlander. How does that make you feel, Sideshow? That word, what emotion does that evoke?
What emotion does that evoke? That evokes the kind of emotion where I'm allowed to play Engineer, Pyro and Spy without being banned from TF2pickup.net. I'm looking at you, Lamcter.
I'm the same though, I got banned as well, so...
How do you feel about Highlander CommanderX? I know your same-sex life partner, Warher, yeah. Formerly hated Highlander, now he plays Sniper in Highlander. Has that swayed you?
He's pretty good at it though.
It's okay. That's all I have to say. It was okay. It's not great. It's pretty boring, but it's okay.
Oh my god.
Stinson out. You clearly love Highlander, but you just revealed to us off-air that you don't even watch Premiership Highlander.
I don't, sorry. Well, I mean, I started Highlander, so I basically ended up playing Highlander. I like both game modes though. I don't judge anything. I'm open-minded.
Jason Allen, you played Highlander this season, right?
Are we live?
Absolutely.
Yes,
We're all
so
looking
okay.
at your towel, kaidus.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
mate.
we just wanted to look at your towel.
You
Like,
just started
well,
while I was AFK. I played Highlander, yeah. I'm with the show. I played it. I played Spy. It was fun. It was a good laugh. I don't know what's going on.
I'm totally unaware of your Highlander goals. Are you down with the 9v9?
Well, yeah. I mean, I played like this season just for fun as Spy. That's about as far as it goes, though. Like I used to play. Like, what are we talking about, man? I've just felt like I've been dropped in here.
Serotone.
I was playing medic in Highlander in the AGC this season, like in gold, but then the admins kicked me, like for being too good, apparently, or like there's like a prem player rule or something. So I was enjoying it, but then I'm not allowed to play it anymore. So
You were sandbagging.
yeah,
Zebbosai, you played Highlander as well, but not in the last season.
Oh, no. Highlander is fun, but Sixes is more fun.
Is it so fun you would travel to Germany to go to an exclusively Highlander LAN, Zeb?
Me and the Nijunen, he was like the Swedish captain from the Highland team. We talked about getting a Swedish team there, but since there were no pieces or anything, I think it's pretty dead.
Well, yeah, it is a drawback, but I think most people have laptops and shit, so I've heard surprisingly low complaints about the PC renter thing. I thought that was going to be a much bigger issue, but apparently people can bring their setup, so that's fine.
yeah, I think I would have liked to go as well. Just it sounds like such a cool idea for an event. You know, the way that you're all in these houses and it's such a social kind of thing.
Yeah.
But no Highlander team, and I don't know anybody in the Highlander scene, so unfortunately it would be wasted on me. But it does sound like a sick idea for a line.
I think Kratos is making some Sixes veterans teams or some shit, so you might ask him.
I'd love to live in a house with Kratos. That sounds right down my alley.
Yeah,
Let's get me signed.
Play Kratos, so.
Maybe he wears the latex gloves for everything he does, you know, like eating dinner, making toast, brushing his teeth.
If he looks at me and puts on the gloves, I'm gonna have a panic attack.
And then he softly caresses your back. I think you specifically want to do a team with Sixes people just crushing the Highlander community and like be like, we don't even scrim, we don't even practice, we just win Deutschland and then we go home again. Like
That's never actually happened though. Like a few people have tried to do that in the Premiership, but no one's ever just made a team of Sixes players and actually won anything in Highlander, right?
Digimon was pretty successful, wasn't it, Zebo?
Sorry, what? Digimon?
Digimon was a super team.
Swedish team?
Was that the same as Legless Legolas or whatever that was? Was that Skeege's team?
Is that the same thing?
I don't know. I
It's
just
your
remember
team
that there was
that
two
does that.
teams in that season that were made of just Sixes players and kind of sucked. And then there was SNSD that had kind of half Sixes, half Highlander that ripped at the beginning of Highlander when everyone was bad and didn't know how to play. But it kind of seems like the Highlander players normally win these days. Like, it's very difficult to make a Sixes like Roffle Stomp team.
We've confirmed here, guys, you know, that everyone knows what Highlander is. They have a reasonable appreciation of it. But Foungi, I want you to tell me the story of Deutschland. You're the man with the plan. It all started with you finding that venue, right?
Yeah, like plan is a bit over exaggerated.
Basically, I saw some old German TV show, and they visited that place. It was a gaming show, and I was like, why not make a LAN in Central Europe where people could actually come? We're not going to like Great Britain where some faggots hang out, you know, like Sideshow. And yeah, why not do Highlander? Because, you know, if you announce it 9 months earlier with, what was it, Gamers Assembly, I-55, Huey's LAN, all that shit, like there's so many Sixes events, even though many Sixes players said that they want to come, I highly doubt that they would come to any event apart from I-55, because it's just money reasons. So yeah, we announced the thing to be Highlander, and people liked it. So we actually started organizing.
Did you have a strong sense that there was a demand for a Highlander LAN? Like, I find, reading a lot of comments from the Highlander community, they often say that they don't necessarily take the game as seriously as the Sixes players, even though I find when I played in the Prem, it was really competitive. I don't know, people in Highlander, I feel, laugh particularly at the notion that TF2 is an esport, even though it is. Maybe it's not the biggest one, but did you think there would be enough serious teams out there to fill this LAN?
Yeah, I do. There's, as you said, on the lower levels, people don't take it as serious, but then if you go to like what's nowadays high, there's quite a few people who care and who want to come, and we see that because most of the sign-ups are actually teams composed of players who've played Div 2 or above. Like, there's quite a few of those.
How do you see the LAN in your mind? Is it like a community event, or are you trying to bring out the best teams for like a really serious competition?
In the first year, it's pretty hard, I think, to actually get Prem teams with a full roster to attend. But we've got some decent teams, and maybe next year we're gonna have full Prem rosters coming over.
Well,
once it's established.
We have a mixture of Prem Panda, I was gonna say Prem Tech and High Panda. We have Fair Enough coming, I think, with their actual main roster. We have Chess Club kinda signing up. So I'm actually pretty confused about that. We have only the highest good, like High and Prem teams signing up so far. Like, my team is the worst, I think, and we are playing mid, playoff mid, kinda high mid. So I think what we need is actually have more teams from lower skill levels actually signing up, because we have enough really high skill teams. There's not a lot of high skill teams in Highlander to begin with, so yeah, that's pretty much our issue, that we can't seem to reach the bases, like the open teams. We can't make them come to this LAN because they just started TF2, they just started Highlander, and they can't like organize their teams to come, apparently.
It's kind of hard to motivate people, though. If you're saying there's already a few top level teams confirmed to go in, like, how do you persuade these low level teams to go and get like shat upon by the best Highlander players in Europe?
Well, first of all, you get to meet the really good guys, right? I mean, when I think back when I started, I watched casts and stuff, and I was like, "Hey man, they're really good, and it would be so cool to meet them and play with them." Of course, you're gonna get stumped, but we're gonna think of a system where, like, after the group stages, whoever is out gets to play like a B tournament, a knockout stage of the worst teams, so to say. So we get actually decent games out of it. And of course, it's about the the mood during the LAN and like hanging out together. It is kind of a mix. We do want it to have a community LAN, but also like with the biggest and best players in Europe. So like it's a mixture of these two, I guess.
It's hard to really predict the event, because even though really good players are attending, it might be that once people are in the houses and chilling out with mates, like internet mates, whatever, they just start binge drinking, and well, then everybody has this fun as well, but it's not going to be such an esport event. But I think there'll be, at least from the top teams, there's going to be some serious competition. I've also heard
I've never heard of a TF2 event devolving into competitive drinking. That doesn't happen.
Never.
What's the legal drinking age in Germany, though?
16.
If you just drink beer and wine, it's 16, and for liquor, it's 18.
Yeah. And we got some pretty dank beer in Germany, as you might have heard.
I guess that's why.
I can't condone this. You know, I want everyone to go there and play their hearts out. It's all about the TF2, not the substance abuse. But I've been really impressed by your fundraiser from the Deutschland guys. Like, it seems really well organised. Compared to like ETFTL Season 20, maybe some lessons were learned by Kakaldu, who seems to have his name on it. But how is it going so far? Like, I can see on the page you've got 60% of what you hoped for. Are you happy with the progress? And when does it close, in fact?
We're definitely happy so far. I didn't think there would be so much up until this point. I think it's open for another 40 days. We estimated it for 2 months. And we have over half now. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, in the beginning, it's without the hype, it's going to be faster than later in the stages. But with our show matches, we had a decent amount of money raised so far. And I think about 200 euros for every show match.
Oh, yeah. Kakaldu was getting a little salty about the show matches. I think they were scheduled at the same time as the I-55 one.
Apparently we scheduled them before the Americans did their games. I didn't know.
You guys definitely did.
Did we?
Yeah, you guys were really organised. Like, you had the dates and stuff up. Although,
like I said, I don't pay attention to this, but
didn't have it published. But I wish Kakaldu was here, so I
he's
could cross swords with him live on air. He's in chat. Oh yeah, what a hero! He's going to respond 30 seconds from now. Get fucked, Kakaldu, idiot. But this Sunday, then there is going to be another show match, right? Is it Sunday?
I think it's Sunday or Saturday. Actually, ask Foungi because his team is playing this time.
Yeah, it's Mega against Wasp, but Wasp wants some help from Forsaken and Shadowburn, so they prefer to play on Saturday. But I think on Saturdays. Nope. There's going to be a few players from Mega. I don't know about Wasp. Obviously, for the Russians, it's kind of hard, and my team, well, I think 2 or 3 people are attending, but in the end, it didn't make sense to like call it Mega and then go to LAN with like a third of the roster.
It's hard to sell it.
You get some guys from Norway, one guy's in America during LAN, stuff like that. So it's just a problem.
Yeah, it's hard to get like the whole LAN teams together right now for show matches because a lot of teams obviously are just forming for fun, so they don't scrim and they don't actually play regularly. So if we can't get LAN teams, we pretty much settle for Prem or, like in Mega Killer's case, future Prem teams.
Those poor guys at Chess Club got smashed by Stacked with me. I carried them to victory.
Yeah, it was really you who carried them because like 2 months ago we still beat them. With Mega.
Well, it wasn't really Chess Club though, right? It was like the LAN squad and with Raptor and Nick in it. So.
Yeah, but obviously, right now there's 6th season going on. Quite a few Highlander players are busy as well. But most teams said they want to start scrimming in August and actually prepare for LAN. So I think we might get some show matches then. Or, well, at least the performances are going to be better from those teams.
Sell it to the non-Highlander viewing public here. You know, you've got a captive audience. Who are the big players to watch out for in this upcoming show match for people who don't know these teams? Why should they tune in?
Obviously, my team is stacked with powerful players, such as myself, the one who gets carried.
Oh my god.
No, I'm literally getting carried. But there's Husky, who's a pretty amazing heavy. He used to play for Chess Club in the early days. There's Toast.
Never heard of him, mate. You're gonna have to try harder.
It's all unknown people. You might know Chew. I think he's on the Danger Dogs roster.
Shadowburn and Forsaken, guys.
Alright, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Zebbosai.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, those are dirty Russians, you know. You might know Nash as well. You might be playing. And Morg. Those Sinnock, like obviously the Wasp roster. The guys from last season. It's not really any big sixes names.
It's on Blackout, right, John?
What is?
The show match. You're casting it. You're streaming it. Who's your casters?
To be decided.
Yeah, we don't know yet because on Saturday apparently TF2 Center is introducing the advanced lobbies. Which John is going to be involved in, so we're trying to figure out if we can play Sunday, but like Foungi said, the Russians prefer to play Saturday. I mean, we're gonna decide it pretty much tomorrow noon or something, because we have to announce it officially.
Trying to steal my John away from me.
Yeah, man.
So, I'm giving you, Deutschland guys, the opportunity to give the hard sell. Number one, why should people donate? Number two, why should they attend? How many people, or what's your attendance looking like right now? Has anyone confirmed or bought tickets, or how does it work?
It's like you pretty much get it, like 9 guys together, and then you pay half of the sign-up fee in order to sign up, and the other half later. We have 9 teams confirmed right now.
That's the full LAN then, yeah?
No. We need 12 to make it happen.
12, right?
I know, like Kratos is making a team, maybe 2 even, and there's probably gonna be a French team. Yeah, we're gonna hit 12 by the end of the month, so it's gonna happen easily. But they didn't.
Kratos is making.
Sorry.
Kratos is making.
Yeah, he's, like I said, he's gonna assemble 6 people and trying to stomp Deutschland with it.
Is he gonna play?
Yeah, of course.
Obviously only for one team.
What happens if they...
But he's like organizing 2 teams. Oh, that's what, at least what he said.
So pretty much you sign up your team and transfer the money, and then you sign up for until you pay the second half.
There are a lot of TF2 fundraisers going on in the minute. We're gonna talk about that over the course of the show. I want to somehow segue. Foungi, you followed ETF2L Highlander Season 8, right?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about the wrap-up, how the playoffs went, because that's something that happened since our last show. I've got it down here as an item. You can tell me what happened, please.
Well, in Prem, obviously, Chestlab won. And actually, a tense match, if I recall correctly. Beat High Panda in the finals. Unfortunately, Premtech were kind of falling apart after the Pyro left during the playoffs, and then came back. But I think they scrimmed less and, well, played a bit worse than they normally would. It was still pretty intense final, and players in general in Prem. And in High, it was not as exciting, I think. But
so Hildreth's lost, that's what you're telling me?
Yes, but Hildreth's gonna come. So Hildreth's gonna come and try to beat those chess kiddies. Also, Maito Maito's unsure about coming. But I think if Maito doesn't come, we'll have Beep, because you doesn't have to have nightmares about getting beat up. And yeah, I actually.
Is Beep going to LAN?
Beep was thinking about it from what I heard.
I talked to him. I think he has work issues, so he's probably not gonna be attending.
Pity.
He's working for Samsung, promoting their new phones, but I would love to go, but I'm not even sure if I can.
Huge announcement. There's going to be a show match on Sunday against Wasp. Just got it confirmed from Adios, their leader. So be hyped for that. Donate your money. Make it happen.
It's happening on Sunday then?
Yeah, Sunday, because this week apparently there's no I-55 show match, so Sunday is pretty much free for us.
I'm going to organise one just to fuck a Kelty off. It's happening Sunday. Be there, guys.
God damn it.
Right.
Nobody cares about your Sixes stuff.
We actually had more spectators last Sunday for our show match than TFTV2 had with a regular Prem match. So we were kind of proud of that.
More spectators than Bite. That is something to be proud of.
It is.
It is. It is. I'm going to continue on. Next on the agenda, no more of this Highlander nonsense. It's time for ETF2L Season 21 so far. We're having a big triple cast tomorrow, fingers crossed, but there's been a lot of games prior to that. Sideshow, I'm going to throw it over to you. You probably cast the biggest game of the season. It was
TLR
versus Reason. I wasn't there that weekend. Haven't even seen the VOD yet, so I want you to, paint a picture with words about how it all went down.
Well, first of all, it's the biggest game of the season so far. I mean, there's Node Rage against TLR coming up next week, I think, or it might even be the week after because Zebbosai's gone on holiday or something, right?
Yeah.
And then there's another game coming up fairly soon that should be pretty sick as well, which is let me get this in my head. It's TLR against Node Rage. Yeah, it's Node Rage playing the top two, which is coming up, isn't it? So they should be pretty sick as well. But yeah, the TLR Reason game was really good. I guess TLR were really maybe if not the underdogs, then definitely the unknown quantity going into the game. Like we've seen Reason the past season as well. And there was a little bit of drama surrounding Mercs and stuff, which everybody loves because it's just fun to watch. And then TLR came out with a big win.
Talk to me about this Merc situation, because it's something I read, after the fact, that Reason had denied various Mercs for TLR. What was really happened, or who was responsible? Who was the guy that said no? Was it you? Do you call the shots?
Well, like, there's not like one guy calling the shots. Like, it wasn't really me, I guess. Not like excluding myself entirely from it, but like I don't really get involved in like discussions, or like as soon as it became apparent it's not going to be like a clear-cut decision, I kind of separate myself from it because I don't like to like type before matches because I have hand problems and stuff. So when we have matches I don't type, so I kind of just set it aside and said, you boys deal with it, I'm happy with whatever you decide.
Always playing that cripple card, man.
Well, you asked, like if you want me to say like something.
You're being very diplomatic here, I want you to name names. Who was the guy that said no? Who was the Ips in your team that says no Mercs?
Well, the thing is, it was never like a question of like no Mercs, but like for like our collective opinion, like they asked for Zebo and Stark, and we rate them so much higher than we do Happy, so that was like, there wasn't even really a question on those, I can't even really remember what else happened. Like I said, I wasn't really involved in discussion. Like I think Forsaken's name was dropped out, and because it's Viaduct week, it's always a bit iffy with like having a sick sniper merking when your regular player is just like an average sniper, or like on his day good, but not really consistently pumping anything out. So yeah, like Kyler was a contentious one, and there was, I don't know, like I didn't really feel strongly one way or the other about Kyler. The thing is, we used him as a merc a couple of weeks before, and he was like really, really good when he merked for us. And I guess people don't really rate Happy that highly, so for their eyes it was kind of like, you can have like anyone that's not in like these top teams basically. I don't know, I wasn't really involved in the conversation, to be honest.
I think it was a little bit of a backlash as well, because Happy actually had a really sick game, which I think is probably because he was really fired up and angry about the situation.
Don't get me
because
wrong,
he's such a player who can either choke or perform, and it's all in his head. And so I think he just got it into his head that like, all right, I'm gonna show them, I'm gonna be really good, and then actually perform pretty well.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, like no one on our team thinks Happy's bad or anything like that, but he's playing a role.
I agree with you.
For our eyes, he's playing a role in TLR that suits him very well and enables him to I guess show his attributes, I guess. But I don't know, people just feel like the scouts they were asking for were better than him, and at the end of the day, like, while I didn't really feel strongly about it, it's like, I guess the feeling was just like, why should we take a chance? I guess like it's kind of their problem, and like the thing it got all messy because like we got on Mumble at like 5 minutes to 8, and we wanted to like get our warm up in and shit. We didn't really reach a decision by the time we were ready to go live in the warm up, so I just said like, yo, like we'll figure this out later. Let's just do our warm up and whatever happens from there. And then like there was just like, as far as I'm aware, like from that point on there was like no contact at all. Like we joined the server for the match and like they wouldn't really answer. They did some weird, I don't know, was it a troll or were they like doing some weird thing like playing for time?
We were delaying because Happy was like on the train, he was running home.
Yeah,
like he physically ran home.
Yeah, but you could say Happy will be here in 15 minutes and we would wait. You didn't need to like do this thing where you would refuse to speak to us and then not like join the server. You could literally just say, Happy's running late, he'll be here in 15 minutes, and we'd be like, yeah, awesome, that's the best decision, that's the best outcome for everyone. But
I liked the dramatic.
Yeah, like, it got all messy.
Yeah, I like the drama. It made everything better. It was so much more of an occasion when you had this like little backstory to it.
Yeah, but like it got all really messy. Like I say, I wasn't involved in the conversations. I separate myself from this kind of stuff because I can't help but like type like a fucking madman when I see red or whatever. So I don't really know what happened. It got pointlessly messy and pointlessly dramatic for like no reason. Like last thing I heard was they were asking for Sheepy and Scrab, and that was fine. And then I don't know what happened after that. It's all just a mess that I wasn't really involved in.
Serotone, does that sound accurate?
It was a roller coaster of an evening. Like getting home and it's like, oh, they've denied 4 mercs, and we're thinking like, oh, for fuck's sake. And like, before our warm up, we were talking about what we were going to do. Like, we're thinking about just defaulting it if we couldn't get anyone. And then we're thinking like, oh, should we just play 5v6 or play like perma heavy, just to annoy them? So yeah, like we were pretty pissed off about the situation. I think like objectively with the mercs, it's understandable that they deny all of those, but from my point of view, we were annoyed because obviously we were hyped to play a game, and
if the roles were reversed, you would do exactly the same thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
If they asked for Zebbosai,
we would
now. I know works.
It's a little bit of an odd situation though, because I don't know who you would get to replace Happy, because on a map like Viaduct where Happy isn't a sniper, all the players around his level are really good snipers. Like Forsaken is around his level on Scout perhaps, but he's like a really good sniper. Nuki's maybe around his level, maybe a bit better on a good day, but he's really good on sniper. Like, you know, I don't think there really is another player around Happy's level. Like, you have to go down a little bit to like Sheepy or Scrab or something.
Like a fair punishment for not having 6 available.
Yeah, I think so. But from TLR's point of view, they don't want to do that. You know, they want to exhaust all the other options first.
Like, you talk about the roles being reversed. The roles wouldn't be reversed for us because, like, I made sure a long time ago we have backups that we're confident in, so we're never in this situation. Like, ever since wildcards were ruled out, like the first thing I did was like, right, we need a backup that can play a multitude of classes that we trust. Got one. Never had to give a shit about mercs or anything like that. So the rules would like never be reversed for us.
That's exactly what TLR did. They had a merc that they trusted on every single class, and it was Big Boy Nox, and they brought him in.
Yeah, that was interesting.
What did you think about Noxon's Prem Scout debut?
It was sort of exactly how you'd expect it to be. Sort of upgrading calls, downgrading DM ability, I guess.
He did his best.
Yeah, like he's good. I'm sure he could play a season on Scout if he wanted to.
Yeah, we didn't notice any like there was no like lol Nox on Scout or whatever.
Yeah.
He wasn't really that noticed. He just was doing Nox stuff.
So Serotone then, like how much was the whole merc drama, like the catalyst for your victory, did that really fire your team up with the comms lively?
Yeah, like we got the round just as like it was 3-0 and we got it to 3-1 just as Happy came back, so we paused and we were talking about like should we carry on playing with Nox, like let Happy warm up and then he plays the second map, and like that's what we were going for, but in the end Happy ended up joining and
Happy's
just like
Happy's proper ridden the glory of this, but like from my eyes you guys were turning it around before he came back and he's just kind of become this hero that turns everything around.
He
like,
came in like right as we got the momentum shift, so
it felt like the shift happened like 5 or 10 minutes before he joined, but then this is like Happy's riding the glory.
Yeah,
he was
probably
for
hammered
the
it home though.
An
just
hour.
like
He was just waiting
for,
for the perfect opportunity.
He was playing good for sure, but
like, and I don't even know whether it was just him playing good, but like everyone else on TLR has got to be so boosted to have their main guy back as well. Like it's a bit of a morale boost just to be playing with your normal 6 again. It's like, oh, Happy's home sick, we can play properly now.
Yeah, like we're
even if it wasn't that much difference.
Yeah, we're a confidence team definitely, and we have good synergy, kind of good combination of personalities. So when we get everyone in the same mumble, there's a big boost.
Tell me the story of the game then, Sideshow. How did things pan out after Hair P emerged?
Oh, what can we say? On Gully Wash, I remember screaming like a little girl at some big play from Shadowburn as he dropped Skeege, but it was very backwards and forwards on Gully Wash actually. The beginning looked heavily in Reason's favour, and then they started turning around as was previously said, and I can't even remember how they eked out a win, but then on Viaduct it kind of, I don't know, it looked fairly even at the beginning, I think, as far as I can remember, and then it just seemed like Reason choked a bit in a lot of the Uber situations, like playing the point properly, and the frag differential at the end was pretty heavily in TLR's favour. They just seemed to win the majority of the fights that you wouldn't normally expect them to win.
We played it really solid. Our calls were really good on that map, and I think we got in a situation where we had a time advantage and we were just like constantly trading for the point, and like I was constantly cutting every Uber, so we just basically did that for like 2 minutes, and we had the time advantage, so we ended up winning.
Let me bring Zebbosai in a little bit here then. At the start of the season, Zebo, I would have said that Reason over TLR, but the last resort have sort of been on an upward curve since they picked up Shadowburn, etc. Were you surprised by the result of that game?
Yeah, I thought Reason would win, and I still put them above TLR, but now with their shit where they can't really go to LAN, I don't think they have the same motivation as TLR anymore. But for a while there, I thought it was just TLR like being on a hype train. That's why they were good, because they beat us in scrims after that too, and they rarely did before that.
How did you feel about the result in retrospect here? Did the better team win? Do you beat TLR in practice before and after?
I don't really remember, to be honest. I feel like we probably had the overall like marginal better results in PCWs, I guess, but
yeah, definitely.
But it's not like a huge sway. Like Gullywash was, I don't know, it was just like a regular season game at the end of the day. I don't think anyone on our end's really reading a whole lot into it. Like Viaduct's a map that we pretty much long before the TLR game we said, right, we'll play Viaduct this week, but we eliminate Viaduct from any like game of merit. So I don't really know what happened on Viaduct, don't really care. Gullywash was a bit disappointing to lose, but like I say, it happens, I guess. I don't know. I think Gully was a bit of a, I'm not going to go as far as to say a throw, but it was all well within our hands to win Gully, and it was bottled on a few occasions. It was just like, yeah, ours to win, and they took it back. So credit where it's due. But ultimately, I think if we were like had a bit more mental fortitude, there was nothing really a team should have been able to do to take it away from us from the positions we put ourselves in. But
so, what is it that you've pinpointed like for the why you lost? As a person who didn't see the game, what do you tell me? Why do you think Reason underperformed?
Just happened on the day, didn't it? I don't know.
Sideshow. This man he's having trouble reliving these painful memories. Jog his memory for him.
I know. I think yeah, it's difficult to put down to one thing. I can't even remember really. I watched the game, I enjoyed it. It seemed like TLR were winning, and then when we switched over to the comms, it seemed like Reason were a little bit down, but
no,
I don't know whether that played into it at all.
That's not true at all. Like
you're not down?
No one was down. We're just a calm team. Like we don't shout and stuff. Like only in the important games like do we shout, and this was just a regular season game. Otherwise, we're just like really calm and stuff. At least
it is a different style compared to TLR. They're really like a hype team. They really ride the emotional roller coaster. So I think TLR have still, even after that game, I still feel like TLR are the more unpredictable team, because I would peg them as the team most likely to choke to lower teams or higher teams when they feel like they should be able to win it. Just because if they feel like they're not having a good day, I pegged some of their players as the ones to choke.
Yeah, and just to maybe correct my last statement, we're really calm, apart from when Skeege dies, when he feels like he shouldn't have died. Then we're fucking Kankazoid. And it was just like shit hits the wall, and it's just gone from that point onwards. But other than those moments, we're like a calm team.
Give us an update then. Zebo touched on it. This was something, for people who didn't see, it came out on the show match about how it recently revealed that Reasons, Walters and Zub won't be able to attend I-55.
Yep.
How is it gonna affect your season for starters? Because like LAN was always the thing in the distance, like you were working towards. Are you gonna make replacements now? Are you gonna wait till LAN time? Is everything up in the air?
Everything's pretty much up in the air. Like, I mean, this team was never made for LAN. Like, if I was making a team for LAN, I probably wouldn't take Walters and Zub on the hope that they can go. Like, this team was made like in like a tail end of 2014. I made this team, like, took a break because of my hand. Yeah, he's going on about the hand again, but it's pretty relevant. Like, I never really intended to play another LAN. I didn't think it was a wise decision for me from a health standpoint, because it's a lot more intensive than just playing a couple of maps a night and stuff. But yeah, I decided I would like to with this team, so we worked toward it. Everyone said they were like kind of on board. Zub was a question mark because of his own personal issues that we won't go into. So Zub was a question mark, but then what was the surprising one? Like, this kind of we only found out about Walters the same time that Zoob kind of gave the confirmation that he can't commit to it. And this was like last week or something. And it was like the start of the season when we kind of first started talking about LAN and stuff. So, I don't know. LAN has been the focus this season, I guess. And now we're just kind of cruising, I guess. We're playing, like we're still PCWing just because people enjoy playing the game. But yeah, I think until we know more, we're basically just going to keep cruising. Like, there's not really any real motivation to improve on it in any particular way at the moment because we don't know really where we're headed or what we're doing, and it's kind of out of our hands at the moment. Those of us that are left, anyway.
So that's leading up to some of the biggest games of the season. Then there's a lot of uncertainty amongst your ranks. Are you still confident that you can make it to playoffs? We've seen some feisty performances there from 425. They took Nerd Rage to a very close game, Zebbosai.
Yeah. Well, we won. That's fine. We were
pretty
really
sure
bad,
you said the same thing in the interview afterwards. You totally played down the fact that it was only like one round in it on both maps.
It was I was so close to making like 1 billion skins. It's so
we were
close.
very bad like that week where me and Stark just switched roles. But we're getting into it more now, so it should be fine.
Yeah, I hear that you're sticking on Roma for the rest of the season, and I believe that. I believe that.
Do you feel that Tony's Tigers, Nerd Rage, you guys underperformed that day, or 425 really a force to be reckoned with now they have Forsaken, Zebbo?
Well, they're way better than they used to be, and especially in officials. Like, they play such a slow game compared to in PSWs. Like, they played close for reason too, so like they are a good team. There's no question about that. I think they can take a map of TLR, especially Sunshine. They look very shaky on it, TLR. So.
I don't want to talk too strongly because there'll be YouTube videos made about me, but 425 also not looking super strong on Sunshine from what I've seen.
I didn't know about that.
Shall I pull a face, Forsaken?
I'm still gonna cheer for 425.
Yeah, that is a big game coming up then tomorrow. We're hoping to get a triple cast going. We've got at least 2 streams confirmed, I think. But 425 versus TLR would be the headline. You know, top bill in there. It's gonna be me and Merlin casting it. Serotone, how are you guys feeling about this?
Sunshine, as mentioned, has been pretty shaky for us. Mainly mid. Like, we started off trying to do this mid strat, quite intricate one, and it just wasn't working. So since then, we've been sort of trying to figure it out. But I think we're starting early tomorrow and kind of talking about it before, and then obviously practicing it. So it should be okay.
Have you considered just sending Shadowburn in to kill everyone?
That's like the entire strat.
That was your intricate mid strat.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel, or how does Shadowburn feel about this game? You know, obviously playing against his former teammates, the general Russian community there. Is there some rivalry? Is he pumped for the game at all?
I'm sure he's pumped for the game. I have absolutely no idea about the Russian community, but I think they will get along. I don't think there's any drama regarding him leaving and joining us at the beginning of the season.
I don't know about that, man. Forsaken refused to play versus 425 when he was in Wonderland still. So
yeah, but that's Wonderland. He's trying to use any excuse he possibly can to play for those dribbles.
I guess.
I mean, he had to play for them tonight, and he tried to drag them kicking and screaming towards a 1 round, but it's just not happening.
CX, you are always our man within the Russian scene. You know, you're our contact. I'm pretty sure you speak Russian as well. What do you know? Is there any rivalry between Shadowburn and the rest of Russia right now? Now that he's moved away from them?
Nah, I don't think so. Shadowburn's a pretty cool guy. Everyone gets on with him. No drama to report.
Who do you think's gonna clinch it tomorrow then, being the #1 Forsaken fanboy? Are you gonna bet against him?
No? Forsaken will do something. Certainly do something. I reckon they'll take a point.
They played with Mylan today.
I don't know if they win a map, but they'll take a point, I reckon.
Does anyone know if they're like gonna play with Mylan? Because we played with them today when we played them. Very interesting.
425?
Yeah, 425.
Very interesting.
Maybe it was just a mark, I don't know.
I'll ask.
He's casting tomorrow. We fucking better not be playing for him. I'm gonna have to cast with Torret or some shit. Jesus Christ. That was the other big hoo-ha this season. Torek got to cast. Sideshow, you cast with him, right?
I loved every second of it.
Did you not explicitly tell me that you should never cast again?
Please don't remind me of that pain.
No, it can't have been me that said he should never cast again.
That saw the cast.
Yeah, perhaps. He's got a unique style of casting. You know, he spits out information when it comes into his head, and then it's clear and concise. You know, he feels like he doesn't have to expand on it. Fair enough. If that works for him.
I've got the report in from my Russian sources. Basically, Deke is getting his diploma tomorrow from university, so he might be more drunk than usual. So that's why they're considering having Merlin on standby, I believe.
Looks like you need to have a spare caster on standby.
Yeah.
Zebbosai, you want to make your debut tomorrow?
Yeah. No, I can't. I'm sorry. No, I'll cast. Okay. Is it with you?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll do it.
Thanks, man. You're my backup now. Merlin and Bales. I'm gonna bring you in for sure. Just sort of browsing the results so far this season. I'm trying to remember the drama moments. I know it's been a while since we've actually done a fully charged. Perhaps Wonderland have been one of the most emotive teams to play. They've had Lupus with a terrible stat, ridiculous kill to death ratio in one of the first games, I forget.
9 for 27. 9 for 27 because they were considering renaming 425 927. That's how I remember it. But God bless him. It was about fucking 27 DPM as well for poor guy. He didn't perform very well in that first official. He did alright in some of the others actually. There was one game where he did really well. I think it was Viaduct or something. But they're looking like an alright bottom tier team. Like they might be better than Lego. I say alright, I mean like 7th out of 8 or something. But
it's weird because I was like writing an event thing yesterday. I was like looked at the table and I was like, wow, for a team that gets so much shit, Wonderland are actually in 6th.
They've had the easiest fixtures so far out of anybody. They've played against all the bottom tier teams and then just Nerd Rage, haven't they? I know Phoenix haven't played against any low tier teams, so they've got 0 points still. And I'm pretty sure that the Wonderland have had a really easy road so far.
Yeah, but nobody expected them to take any points or maps, right? Like, well, I just read the forums, and it seemed to be the outsiders of the century or something.
Well, they took a map off Lego, which I think is like reasonable. You'd expect them to take a map off Lego, given that they beat them in the Premiership playoffs.
Getting a point from Dogs though is pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Really unexpected. But that's crazy. Like really, when you consider like Dogs.
Crazy.
Are, like, yeah, like really, that shouldn't happen, man.
Well, it's like. The Dogs are like the 5th place, possibly 6th place team, depending on how Phoenix end up doing against like, the worst end of the like teams. So
I don't know, like
no, Dogs haven't played Phoenix yet, and I feel like that's the game where we're gonna find out who the 5th place team is. Really,
it's the game where you're gonna find out. But like we play, well, I'm at least playing against these teams a lot. That's like honestly playing against Dogs, playing against Wonderland is black and white. They're leagues apart, man. Like leagues apart.
You've got a man crush Spud though, dude. You know, I'm sure that's not your judgment.
I rate Spud quite highly, but as a team, it's just like you don't even have to like analyze it. It's like playing against a dribble mix when you play Wonderland. Like I'm playing against Dogs. It's like okay, they're not quite top tier, but you feel like okay, this is a fucking Prem PCW. But against Wonderland, it's just like you don't know what the hell is going on. It might as well be a pickup half the time.
How often does Quad show up for Wonderland practice? Because I know he missed an official or two.
They were supposed to have kicked him because he didn't show up for practices and he wasn't going to commit to it. So the idea was that they kicked him and replaced him with either Pom or Gore, and then he's playing tonight. So I guess whenever Quad shows up, they're just deciding to use him.
See, you cast that game tonight. How did Quad perform?
Dribbled around, like he just fucking like what was it like first map he dies once a minute, second death he ramps it up and dies like 23 times in 17 minutes or something fucking ridiculous. Like he's just dead over fucking time. occasionally he kills stuff that Kuna's piped, but who the fuck wouldn't kill something Kuna's piped?
Is it fair to say he's just he's living off his legacy?
Yeah, he's washed up for sure.
People said that about Walters at one point. Now he's battling for
this is a different
Premiership supremacy.
It's like not even the same level.
No, yeah,
is there a quad?
This is like Walters is no longer top prem, like best in the world. He's just, you know, like mid-high prem now. This is like quad going from top prem to probably would get cut from half the high teams.
But what has happened to him? Like,
I was playing with quad 2 years ago, and he was on an obvious decline. Like, granted, the team we were in wasn't like the best team ever, and like a better team he could have played better in. But it was like obvious, man. Like ever since he stopped caring, he's a kid that used to DM like beyond a ridiculous amount. He would be in DM servers like all day, man, and he just stopped doing that because he doesn't care anymore. Like at least 2 years ago, he stopped playing TF2 because he couldn't go to LAN because he wanted to do go-karting and stuff.
Yeah, that was it.
And it was going pretty well for him, so he just like, you know, didn't put his priority in TF2, didn't practice that much, and he was a guy whose game was kind of always based on playing a lot and having really good DM. And if you don't play, you don't maintain your skills.
Greg always used to say when he wasn't infused, that like as soon as like quad wasn't like trying properly, he'd just go in and try and DM everything. And if he had an off day on DM, he was basically useless. Like if his DM wasn't on point.
Yeah, I loved a little comment in Twitch chat today that said we were spectating quad and then he just dribbles all over himself and dies. And I think it might have been Kakalti or someone posted in chat, this is the same quad that got banned for aimbot. And that properly tickled me.
Is Maybe Lupus a better scout right now in Wonderland? Is Lupus better than quad?
Yeah, I mean stats wise, yeah,
in Wonderland.
Yeah, I think I think it probably is, or possibly Kuna. You know, like one of the people who doesn't play scout is probably a better scout than the scouts in Wonderland, which is a terrible shame.
Kuna's he's pretty good, isn't he?
Exactly,
good sniper as well.
Unfortunately, I think Kuna might be the best at all the classes on that team.
There's some sort of, I'm not going to say hidden gems, but you know, players that I've been impressed by. I'm just thinking back to the sort of Premiership qualifiers, but Wanzu, player I had no clue about, is actually pretty solid. Lupus, who I've always just seen playing in TF2 pickup, he's actually pretty good from time to time. His stats in the first game might have been terrible, but are these guys worthy of the Premiership, I think is the question I'm trying to come to, Josh Wilkinson.
I think there's a big
the king of squirrels,
difference in mentality. Yeah, Cos is fine and would be able to play Prem Medic, no problem. He's better than most of the medics in Prem at the moment. I think like if he decided to keen it up, he'd be able to. And Soldier, he's probably just about there. I think he'd probably be better on Pocket or something, but he's alright on Roma. But some of these players, it seems like the kind of mixed teams that get into Prem or something, and it's a completely different mentality to the one they need. Like when you say about Lupus being good, like occasionally he puts up good stats, but whenever you watch him play, you get the impression that he's playing as if it's a pickup, like he's playing for his own personal, getting frags and stuff and having fun during the game, and he just plays like sniper at weird times, or he baits his team at weird times, and it's really strange. It doesn't feel like they have any team cohesion.
There's quite a few times where someone like would make like quite like a nice individual play to kind of set something up, and then you kind of like pan across and you just see the rest of a Wonderland team standing there watching this nice, like not even a play, like a nice half play, like a nice setup happen, and then no one's really capitalizing off it. And everyone just kind of does like weird random stuff. Like sometimes Kuna will find himself with no heals whatsoever, just spamming pipes.
But I think that only really applies to Wonderland, doesn't it? Because all the rest of the teams in Prem are teams and do play more like teams than Wonderland do. And even Lego, who lost to Wonderland in the Premiership qualifiers, they play like a team. They just play like a bad team. Like the individual DM and stuff isn't quite there, and the way that they support each other there. But you can tell what they're doing. Like they have a game plan when they go into things.
If Lego like took a season in high or whatever where they practiced pushing They could be okay.
Took
but
a season in high. They've taken 10 seasons in high. They won all the mouse pads.
They still just sit
Peter's
and
sat
defend,
there with
though.
a stack of mouse pads this high.
He doesn't even have
playing
a chair.
like that.
He sits on a stack of mouse pads.
I don't know, man. Like, I think they have some good players. Like, if they just practiced fucking being a bit aggressive, that team could be okay at least. Like, they could be Phoenix level.
What, bottom of Prem without a win?
Well,
They've
had really hard games. Yeah.
Yeah, they've
Phoenix
played
are a good
all
team.
the top 4. Those are the first 4 games were against the current top 4 teams.
I thought Lego did better. I don't know if anyone watched the Viaduct game they played. Was against Wonderland, maybe? They actually seem to have put some decent pushes together. I don't know if that's just because Viaduct forces them to push, like they don't have a choice. But they seemed a little bit more progressive than they usually were.
Yeah, I think they definitely have, changed their mentality. They are prepared to push in the 50-50 situations or, get aggressive and even see if there's an opportunity to push. But they've got some tricky games coming up. I'm just looking at the Lego team page here. They play in Phoenix today. It's probably their biggest opportunity to get some more points. Then they got 425 and TLR to close out their season. So I thought only getting a draw against Wonderland was disappointing for them, even though Wonderland beat them in the qualifiers, whatever. I felt like that was their big missed opportunity. I'm aware the time's taken on here, but Season 21 has been surprisingly interesting so far, but we want to talk about I-55, obviously. I know it's been talked to death. We even had the NA fully charged, unveiling a lot of the fundraisers, etc. But we haven't had the EU perspective, or it hasn't been on the record here. So let's go to Zebbosai. You played in the show match at the weekend, and you managed to take down Ascent. How do you feel right now about Europe's chances, your team and the other teams? How do you think you guys are going to stack up come August?
I'm a bit disappointed that Reason won't go with their full roster, but if they get like Mike and Kyler, they'll be fine anyway. And for our chance, I still think we can win. I don't know how good 4G are now, but I don't know. Ascent didn't look that impressive, but
what did you say about this guys?
Yeah, I said they were awful. But like I think that with the Broder we also, or like last season with Insomniac, we beat some Yank team in the show match, even though we had hyping, and then we still lost on LAN. So you can never take too much away from it.
What do you think the mood is, or how do you feel it in your heart of hearts, Zebbosai? You saw 4G come over and just dominate last time. Does that drive you? Is it like, you get in this cycle where NA win and EU get mad and win the next year, and then NA won this year, so is EU going to get mad and win this time? Are you pumped, Zebo?
But 4G never came over and dominated. Like, people, I don't know, they overhyped them. Like, they lost in the group stages, they had some close games in the knockout stage. Sure, they just rolled the final, but they weren't, like, people
That's because Epsilon were up partying all night though, wasn't it?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think they are that good. And I think they are losing, like, their... Well, not... Clockwork is the best player, but Lansky is, for me at least, by far the second best player they had. And they're losing him, so that will obviously make them weaker.
Yeah, that was one of the pieces of gossip revealed after we bled everyone's wallets dry Sideshow. That
it was more disappointing than my piece of gossip, but my piece of gossip was bad news.
And Freotech are potentially in talks. This hasn't been confirmed by anyone from Freotech, but they have been at least trying to persuade Seagull to go to LAN.
I think that instantly got dismissed by Seagull. Yeah. Like, after everybody started asking him, he was just like, no, that's not happening. I saw them playing with Ash last night, and I think his name got tossed around quite a bit as well. Interestingly, it wasn't one that the Fragile actually mentioned, but I would probably peg him, not that I know anything about the scene, but it looks like he would be the most likely candidate.
You got any more gossip whilst we're on the topic, Sideshow? NA or EU?
Yeah, Sideshow is the expert on gossip, I heard, from Sunday.
He's the gossip
Mike was around my house last night, and we were sat there having some beers and just chatting about the whole situation. And he was he's
Did he ask
not
you to join
giving
his
up with
super
his
team?
dreams of no. He's not giving up with his ideas of making a team for I-55. He still wants to play at I-55. He'll be there no matter what. Like, he'll be playing for the Enigma Zone crew either way. So if you have to see some Mike action, then you can find him on the Enigma Zone crew roster if he doesn't find a decent team. But he really wants himself and some of the previous other Epsilon players to play. Whether or not that means drafting in some extras or filling in slots on other teams, we'll see.
Are you withholding information from me, Sideshow?
Maybe a little.
You're under oath here.
Maybe a little.
Right, I'm going to mention some names. We'll start off easy. Nox. Merlin.
No.
Kyler for fun. Numlocked.
He's up in Turkey. Numlock's up in Turkey. Like, rest in peace, that dream. He's gone. He's gone for, like, I don't know. He doesn't have a return ticket. He's intended to stay there. He's a professional gamer now, contracted by Riot. He's getting paid £12,500 a year to play League of Legends in Turkey, and his accommodation and food gets paid for as well. He's living the fucking dream.
He's pretty awesome. Decent at it, though. I saw a cast.
It's pretty sick.
With him. Like, he's like a Europe thing. So like B Europe team or something. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's not with them anymore though. He's just playing with these Turkish guys.
Is that just because the UK scene is so shit he has to go to Turkey, or what?
No, it's because the Turkish scene has like its own qualifiers for the LCS, and so it's like easier to get into top teams by going into there. So it's as if like in CSGO, if you moved over to NA, you could arguably have an easier time of getting into the scene because the teams are slightly worse or whatever. So he's moving into a scene where the skill level is lower, so that he can get into the top level teams, and he's getting paid for it, and it's going well for him.
All right, mate. Nice attempt at distracting me from the real issue here. Who else? Name Bash.
No, unfortunately, Mike told me a lovely little story last night about Bash, which breaks my little heart.
And now you have to tell it.
Yeah, I know. I will tell you about this. I'd completely forgotten about it, actually. I wasn't even going to say, but Bash was really keen, actually, for an I-55 team and really wanted to play with them, and was messaging them all like, oh yeah, I heard you guys were playing, and he was playing pickups and he was playing DM, and he was like, let me know when you've got any information, let me know. And then Mike had to break the news to him that Nox said he never wanted to play with him again on a LAN team, because Nox was really angry because Bash took the vast majority of the fundraised money and then spent it on LAN, but then spent all his own money on going on a holiday to Spain with Lulu.
God damn.
So they both just refused to play with him at a LAN because of that, not because of his skill or anything like that, but just that.
Let me throw you a curveball in. Stefan, any chance of getting him back out of retirement?
He wasn't even mentioned, so I assume that it's just that he has no interest in it.
War Hurrier?
That's an interesting one, because I don't actually. He has been left surprisingly absent from all discussions, and yet because I assumed, I don't know why I assumed this, and I assume that other people assumed it as well, that the people at I-52 didn't enjoy playing with him or something. I don't know why I assumed that, but that was my impression for some reason. But Mike said him and Nox really enjoyed playing with War, and he was really keen for it, and he was hyped in matches, and he wanted to perform, and he put in the work and stuff like that. So I don't know. He isn't currently being asked about it as far as I know, but I
don't think War would have any interest. He said like multiple times that he doesn't really want to play in any kind of top sixes team again, and even before that he was done with the class of Demoman, and I don't think you can really make a case for him on Scout or Soldier. Like, I'm sure with time he could get good on other classes, but like there's not time.
For this one, we trialed War with as Pocket for Suave, then War realized he's garbage at it, so he said, yeah, I want to play demo. And like, he really wanted to play demo, just we didn't give him a chance after that. But I don't know, I think War would play.
He says on his stream all the time that he doesn't want to. That's
Yeah,
why
I
he's playing
think
Highlander now. 'cause he
actually
doesn't
now that I
want to.
remember,
that's the
Mike
max.
did mention that he said he didn't want to commit to a team. Like he didn't want to spend the time committing to a team when they had previously brought up the idea.
He's been keen about casting the last week, and he's mentioned casting at I-55. Maybe I don't know. I'm sure he could be persuaded. All right, I'm not going to quiz you anymore, Sideshow. I'm going to ask these top 3 Prem teams here. How many of your players have been attempted to be poached by Mike or Nox or anyone? Serotone, tell me, has anyone been tried to be stolen from TLR?
Yeah, everyone's trying to get me, obviously. But apart from that, no one. We're all pretty locked in. We're all confident. We're making plans kind of as we speak, basically. So it's all going ahead, provided we get the money.
What if
What about
Nox
Nico?
just walked up with a big check and paid Shadowburn? Nox could send Shadowburn to land before your fundraiser even finishes, man. Are you not worried?
What if Nox
sharks
brought
are
his way
circling.
into your team and replaced you?
Yeah,
Well,
maybe
I'd
the
be
reason.
okay with that if I can keep like half the money or something.
He's saying you'll take bribes pro games.
Such a business.
That sounds like
No, I'll take bribes to
that sounds like
teams.
I can win money on Celine.tf.
Take bribes to leave teams. That's such a good way of looking at it.
I got to the final. £500 to walk out.
Zebbosai, have you been in talks with Mike? We heard, that Mike was trying to kill the tiger.
Yeah, Mike asked like me, and I think he also wants to play with tech. And he, I think, considered Rib on demo too.
What about Tony? Tony the tiger. Toxic Tony.
From what
Yeah,
I
he was.
understand,
No, he was. He was also considering Stark as well. He wanted to play with Stark on Scout. He thinks he's probably one of the best scouts at the moment.
Well, from the talks
His
I had
ideal
with
team
Mike,
would have Stark on Scout.
From the talks I had with Mike, he said that because we were talking about Kyler, and I said maybe Tony should play instead of Kyler, but Mike didn't think that was a good idea.
Mike. That's because Mike doesn't want you to play Scout. He thinks you play like a retard on Scout, and you're only against bad people.
Yeah, but it wasn't me to be the second scout. Then I was always going to be pocket in those discussions.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to leave, and I hope none of my teammates are leaving either.
I believe you, Zebbosai.
The problem
really
with the
sick team
Frenchies
was
is
coming
as well.
together,
I think he had the Frenchies in his head as well, and the problem that we were laughing about as well, which is just the same as last year, is that Tech and Flippy are going on holiday right before I-55.
And there's also Tech, pretty much refuses to play without Flippy as well. It's the Zebbosai knew something.
Little bitch. Kaidus, you're currently looking to fill 2 slots to go to LAN. I'm sure you've been talking to Mike. What can you tell us?
Mike's been in France. Haven't been able to speak to him.
Could we potentially see a merger of Reason and this super team in the making?
That's up to Mike.
Your silence says it all.
I can dream.
CommanderX, have you got any scoop, any gossip you want to unveil?
Nope.
Everyone's remaining
the
tight-lipped right now.
The Russians won't be attending. That's what I can contribute.
Shadowburn might know.
That's a real pity that 425 and those guys, are they just not bothered about it? Because I feel like if they had a fundraiser, people would probably send them. And it would be awesome to have them there.
At I-49, when it was was it Lethal Weapon or Last Man Standing? And Forsaken wanted to do a fundraiser. And then he asked all the other guys, and they just weren't interested.
That's such a pity.
Yeah, they were even if they could get full funding and passports and stuff covered, they just weren't bothered. I don't know if obviously not a lot of the players are the same for 425. I don't know if Forsaken's going to come because he might be in the country at the time, but he might not because it's going to be out of uni time, so he might be back in Latvia. But he might turn up if he's around.
I don't want to talk about fucking 425, man. I am on a seam of gossip gold here with Reason, Mike, Nox. I want answers. Who's getting cut? Who's out of Reason whenever Nox says he wants to play? Who's going to go? Is it Skeet?
Who needs to be cut?
His head on the chopping block?
Who needs to be cut?
Well, what would Nox play?
Nox has played
Roman?
Scout. No, Nox is Scout, right? And then Mike would play Pocket. And
But
no
you want
problem.
to win the LAN, right? Is
we
Clockwork and
wouldn't-
Banny against Nox on Scout?
We wouldn't do anything unproven. It's LAN. Going to LAN as a top team is quite a lot of effort, both in finding the funding and actually participating in the event. So I don't think anyone wants to do anything risky. Like, if there's a way we can make it work with like not a proven lineup, but like at least in theory proven lineup, like with proven like players in every position or whatever, then there's something to talk about. But I'm not up for any like weird risks or whatever.
You need a
I
roamer.
don't
and
think
Mike
Nox
is the
was
best
actually
roamer.
considering to play Scout. I'm sure that's not on his agenda even slightly.
That's not him. I'm Mike though. I'm talking to you guys with your crazy theory crafting. I can just like rule it out, even if like other people wanted to do that. That's not something I'd be interested in.
Surely just get Mike and Kyler in for LAN.
Let me use my powers of deduction here, you know. Reason
okay.
need a roamer. Mike is the best roamer. But Mike won't join your team without Nox.
That's rude.
Well,
So Nox has to be brought in somehow.
And so
You don't want him
Skeege
on
is Scout.
Does that mean Skeege is playing Scout or Skeege is getting cut? I could see Mike on Scout, to be honest. I could see Captain on Scout.
I think Mike and Kylo would entertain the idea of joining without Nox, dependent on other factors.
Other factors? Care to elaborate, Sideshow?
No.
why say anything then?
just to put the information out there. I'm not
That's
saying
not
anything.
information. That's like anti-information.
Mike's not even
That tells us nothing.
Mike got home to his house like 5 hours ago from mine, and I'm already getting all this stuff pried out of me. Man, talk to him. I don't know.
He's not been online for like fucking 4 days. It's impossible.
Skeege makes a good
Yeah, but
point
he's
in
back
chat,
home now.
actually.
Just ring him.
Skeege played a season of roamer, man. Are you overlooking his potential?
He is very good at dropping medics. Or dropping as medic. Which one is that? I can't remember.
Surely to know how to drop a medic, you must first master dropping yourself first. That's what Skeege is doing. Natural next step.
I think you learned from Grabber.
I want to take a little interlude here from, making kaidus squirm.
I'm not square. I just don't know. I haven't been able to speak to the guy, so I can't really say anything. It's not a no-brainer. If Mike would play for us in some fashion with Kyler or whatever, then who's going to object to that? But the fact is, haven't been able to speak to him, so can't really comment.
Serotone, I want to give you a chance to, give us the pitch for the TLR fundraiser for LAN.
Yeah, so through all this talks of super teams, there is already a super team, and it's called The Last Resort.
Oh, have you got a script, mate? Or do you just make that up?
Oh no, this is all on the spot. And yeah, we basically need money for 3 people, Nico, Ams and Shadowburn, because they all have no money, and they need to fly over to England. It's mainly Shadowburn who needs the most money. His flight is more expensive, and we need to pay for his visa as well. And then there's accommodation costs while we're there. So our kind of total is about 1,500 that we're looking for at the moment, but it's like relatively flexible. Like if we don't get that amount, we can make some up out of pocket, but obviously we'd rather not. And yeah, if you want to see Shadowburn at LAN on 144 Hz, 0 ping, then go over to i55.tf/TLR.
Is there an with Nico as well? Like, do you have to bring his mum along? Accommodation for her as well?
Oh, that'd be fantastic, because Sheepy's dad's come in and Nico's mum's come in, and they could just form like a happy family or something. Wouldn't that be fantastic if they ended up being step brothers? If Sheepy and Nico ended up being related and they had to live in the same house. That would be fantastic.
Tell us a little bit about the perks then, Serotone. Like what will people get in return beyond the great opportunity of having a third European team there?
Well, that's the main reward. But we're doing the outro credits, so if you've seen the North American fundraisers, how you can get in the outro credits at the end of the stream, you can get that as well if you donate €5. We're also doing a raffle for a signed shirt, which is also €5. So basically anyone who gives us more than that amount gets both of those. Other good perks, let me have a look. We're doing like demo reviews, mentoring sessions, stuff like that. That's €30. And you can get a fragvid made by AMS for you.
I've already purchased one of them. My Pyrofrag movie is incoming, made by AMS. It's going to be the sickest thing you've ever seen.
This is one you got banned for?
Yeah, possibly. No, I was playing
we got banned. I got dragged down into that shit.
What happened there?
I discovered a teleporter bug in that game, you know, so I'm just discovering new things every day.
Me and Sideshow aren't allowed to play pickups for a while because we were too good at off-classing on 150.
An entire week!
I only got 2 days. Probably because I got into double figures of my minutes as soldier.
On TFT pickup? You got banned?
Yeah, TFT pickup. They're just absolute Nazis. Just that Lamberto guy, he banned me before, and then he said that if I get banned again, it's going to be 2 months or something. He's just gone mad with power.
Let me just segue then and quickly mention, I think somebody mentioned it earlier, but on Saturday, it's going to be the launch of the beta, the open, I don't think it's open, you need to be a certain skill level at least, for the TFT Center advanced lobbies. I don't think you need to donate at the start. I don't even know. I should have read the thread more closely.
Am I going to have to pay when I turn up on Saturday?
I think you don't have to pay for the beta. Yet.
Nah, it's going to be 3 months, I think, before the paywall is up, and maybe they'll reconsider that. But I suppose it's a pickup by another name. The advanced lobbies. It's, I think, you know, since the matchmaking announcement came out and Musilk made that video, a lot of people started coming to TF2 Center, and it really highlighted a problem that they've had. That some people maybe don't take the game as seriously as we would like. So now there's going to be essentially pickups, you know, like automatically balanced, only one at a time sort of thing for sixes and Highlander. We're going to be helping them launch that on Saturday. Me and Sideshow are going to cast. There's going to be a sixes lobby and a Highlander lobby for EU and NA, so 4 games back to back. We're going to cast it. I think we're going to have to consume a lot of alcohol to make it entertaining, Sideshow. But we have
play a drinking game while we cast. That'd be fantastic. I'd love to do that.
Are we getting drunk on Saturday now?
We can play Drunkle
Mix.
Mix.
It's up to you, man.
Oh wait,
we have
the return of the Drunkle Mix.
We have some people that have notes signed up, you know, like. Sorry, CX.
I was going to say, what if you make rules and I drink along while you cast me playing in the advanced lobbies?
Yeah. We'll try and get the team comps going as well. We've got like you know, notable figures like Zub, the creator of logs.tf, Cherry from Saloon, Ari, of course, the king of TF2 development. Gentleman John wouldn't play; he refused outright. But then you know, we got like kaidus and Fribs, in fact, CX, War.
We only got Fribs so that Jason couldn't troll us creaking his chair all the time. We want her in the same room just to make sure that he doesn't start that shit.
We got Sonny Black too, you know, trying to get Permzilla. Bytes agreed to play. So, you know, it'll be interesting. We don't know what the teams are going to be. It's going to be, you know, automatically balanced. And I've seen it in action. It's a pretty interesting system. But TF2 Center, they've got a big vision, you know. Even this, the money that they're raising or asking for, you know, this £1 a month or whatever, or €1 a month. Like, I'm always talking to Master Noob about mad ideas, like running TF2 lands and stuff. This is obviously way in the future. We've got I-55 coming up, but he really wants to push competitive forward. Like, I think he was really inspired by his attendance of I-52. He seems like a man with a big vision.
And there's a nice treat as well on the website as well for people who check out TF2 Center while the game's happening. Did you see that as well, Admirable? The thing that got tested today? No, it's going live on Saturday, but it got tested out today. It looks really cool.
Yes, so obviously TF2 Center is an incredibly popular website. They do some crazy numbers each month. So we've managed to persuade Master Noob to promote Team Fortress TV there. Anytime we're live, it'll be up there. And hopefully we'll have an influx of, you know, players who are curious about competitive. They're trying lobbies. And then they're going to come in and see great Prem games like Wonderland versus Nerd Rage and think this is not the game for me. But I guess we'll have a responsibility then as casters Sideshow to try and explain more things and bring people in.
Wait, so Admiral, you said you had a peek at these beta stages yet?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what's like, obviously, what I'm wondering, and a lot of other people, I think, is what is the advantage of like playing pickups or spreadsheet mixes? Because as far as I know, you can have a decent game there as well. So why would I pay money to TF2 Center to play decent Highlander lobbies?
That is a good question, my friend.
I thought you had like inside knowledge, like
do you want the answer?
that surprised you.
The answer is they're not trying to target you particularly. They're trying to target this huge player base that they already have, right? They're not trying to like draw in people from TF2Pickup.net or people who are fine with their double mixes. They're not like trying to branch out that way. They're just trying to like add another layer to the experience they already provide for the player base they already have. So it's like this is the biggest site for TF2 at the moment, like the biggest competitive TF2 site. It's where all the newbies come in, it's where all the pub players know about. It's the first site that they get contact with, it's their first port of call. And so if you're then stepping up the level that they're playing at and giving them like a more advanced version before they then go into pickups or whatever, like they're not trying to entice prem players to play in the advanced lobbies. It's not designed for them. That's not the point. The point is just to create a more competitive atmosphere where you rule out all of this kind of joking around in lobbies or not playing seriously or not having mumble comms or something like that. So it's kind of not quite for you, but it's a great addition to the scene in general, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to like bullshit them or something. I was just wondering, because I mean that kind of makes sense, but I don't know. I'm still not convinced until I see it.
It's a bold move, like especially in Europe where people are notorious for not wanting to pay for anything, like struggle to get ESCA to work.
Especially like with you did in the 20% from the player rankings or something, and I've noticed there's a lot of people in the like high up the player rankings who pretty much just play Backbone or Pyro on Viaduct and are suddenly like the top 10 Pyros in Europe or something. So I don't trust these player rankings because they have obvious flaws, and you have probably people there who shouldn't be there in these advanced lobbies.
Well, that's obviously going with the sort of semi-closed beta there. They want to see how it all works, but I mean, they're starting to incorporate the automatic ranking that Gentleman John had written various articles about and really done a lot of research into. I'm not sure if they're using his algorithm exactly, but it's definitely going to improve the quality of games.
Yeah, it's a great initiative. That's for sure.
And there are already, existing services out there for people who want to play pickups, like TF2Pickup.net. What happened as well, actually, guys?
Yeah,
that recent thread about
TF2 Pug Me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
tell me about
so Butnose asked me to give a shout out to that as well, because essentially it's almost all set up. We're just waiting on a little bit of work to be done by Dango, and also the big stumbling block at the moment is some European servers. So it's a shout out to anybody currently on the stream or anybody that anybody knows on the stream. If anybody could provide 2 servers for this TF2 Pug Me, which is essentially going to be like a new version of Pickup 2, so like a place where the upper echelons are going to be hiding out, playing their pickups. It's aspirational for other players, persuading them to play better and aspire to get into this, etc. And provides, a place for prem players to play instead of just trolling around in TF2 Pickup or whatever. So the biggest stumbling block at the moment is these servers. Essentially, it's either 1 or 2 servers. I don't think there'll be a need for more than 2. But if anybody has space on the Deddy box, or just like a server kicking round, or they just feel like they want to donate one, it would be very much appreciated. There's a list of players already done to set up, and Dango I think has already got the code pretty much sorted as well. It just needs porting over to like an EU server and the plugins installing and all of that stuff.
That's cool. It's sort of like I remember when I started playing TF2, there's always been like sort of stratas of pickups. It was like they had the original TF2 pickup, like on IRC there was the 3 different levels. There was pickup 2 and the open pickup, and there was like even an invite pickup that died out. But it seems like there's a return to that. Is that a good thing for the game ultimately, kaidus? Like, do you think is it damaging to sort of fence off players? Like,
no, Not really, because they're fenced off anyway. Basically, like people are constantly like, people manufacture this idea of like some prem circle jerk double mix or whatever. Like the double mixes we play that Butnos organizes, and everyone complains about how exclusive, how like they're excluded or whatever. But like if you have a system like, you know, with boundaries clearly stated in like legislation, and it's on a website that you can visit and see and touch and acknowledge its existence, you know, it's a lot better than what we have at the moment, where the same thing is basically happening, but not only are those games complete dog shit because it is just a casual group of friends essentially playing double mixes, it's like something other people can aspire to, and they can say, okay, this is what I have to achieve as a TF2 player to go in and play this. Whereas with the double mixes at the moment, it is a little bit circle jerky just because there's no real way of, you know, appealing to a mass group of people. But I don't know, like, what is like, you say like, you mentioned before there used to be like 3 tiers, like kind of system with the multiplayer pickups. Where is like the line drawn for this Pugme? Like, where is the line going to be drawn?
At the moment, the line's drawn with all the players that have played Prem for the last 4 seasons, something like that, plus the people who normally play in the double mixes who haven't played Prem. People like Butnos, right? So he hasn't actually played Prem in all that time, really? But he's certainly capable of it. So just like notable people that are obviously part of would be able to play at that level. And then there's the possibility he has. But then there's a possibility to add further people in afterwards. So like, it's a list already of 50 people or whatever, and it's open for the admins to then add more when they want. It just seems like that's an easy way to cut it off at the moment and then leave the rest to administration, because you can't say only the top half of high when high only gets decided at the end of a season, because if there's people coming in and they're good enough to play, like it has to be done on like a pickup system, like the way the pickup 2 was done.
But I don't know, what? So if you've been playing in the random double mixes where being friends gets you in, then you're good enough?
No.
Circle jerk.
But like playing at the top of high, the Prem players for the last 4 seasons, plus the people who've come like in the top part of high, and that's given us a list of like 150, 200 players. No, maybe a bit less than that. Maybe about 150. And some of them might not be playing, some of them might not be interested, whatever. But then after that, it has to be a system of the admins picking players who they know are capable of playing at that level, the same way that Pickup 2 did it, because there is no Div 1 anymore, there is no Div 2. It's high and it's huge, and you can't add everybody from high.
We need Byte to just tell us who's good and who's bad, who's been naughty.
Just the way you phrased it was weird, like the people from double mixes.
Yeah, I don't mean that. I don't mean we've added Torrid because he's played with us like a few times or something like that. It's just, it's essentially the people who played Prem in the last 4 seasons, plus a few other notable names.
Playoffs? Like, surely high playoffs last season is pretty good.
I think Butnos added them, but they might not have done. Either way, like, if players aren't added to it, and they should be, then all they have to do is like contact an admin when it goes live and they'll be added. Like, it's just on a case-by-case basis.
He says, Butnos says, I wanted auto-invites to go out to Prem and high players, and 12 trial spots for people to rotate in and out of. It seems like they've got a plan anyway. I'm going to propose a scenario here. Kaidus, you're a former admin of TF2 Pickup. Yeah. Or Pickup 2. And usually what happens is, you know, a new pickup comes out, or someone new comes in charge, and people are excited and they play. And like, it's great to see Prem players like Zebbosai, you know, stepping out and playing pickups. But eventually there's like some toxic players, or, you know, players who people think aren't good enough that are ruining the pickups, and people stop playing the pickups. How do you like break that cycle, or how do you keep the standard high if you're going for like a really exclusive pickup?
I don't really know, to be honest. I think you'd probably, like, to really nail it down, you would need like a more I think you would honestly need like a more sophisticated system than just like. But the way it works in Pickup 2 was you'd get reports from random people. Like, I'd get fucking reports from COS every day about every player who played ever. And then, like, when you start to get enough, you kind of would discuss it with the other admins and be like, right, it's time to take action. But that was always a really shitty system.
Won't there be 2 captains picking? So if someone is really AIDS, he won't get picked. Isn't that how it's going to work?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, in Pugme, it's a bit better because you at least have to pick players and things like that. One of the big problems Pugme always had was Byte would always Nazi over classes, and like unless you were the best demo in Europe, you weren't allowed to play pickup 2 demo and things like this. But I don't know, the problem I always felt with it was too difficult because you had such a diverse range of opinions and no real there was no outline structure of how you actually differentiate between these opinions. Like I say, you'd have Koss whining about this shit, and then I don't know, other people whining about Koss at the same time. So you just end up in this really weird situation where you don't really know who to listen to or whatever. Like you only have your own opinions. At the end of the day, you're just one guy. So I don't know, in an ideal world, there would be some locked-in system, where if a player is getting X reports, then action is taken or whatever. I don't really know, but
yeah,
the pickup 2 system was always kind of a bit too rudimentary. It didn't really.
But I don't think that's ever going to work. Unless we had a Division 1 and you wanted to say anybody who's played in Div 1 or anybody who's played in Prem, you can play. But to do it automatically as well puts in roster riders and shit like that. So it would have to be people who've actually played a game in those divisions, and we don't have that anymore. You've got high, and yeah, you can say the high playoffs, which is the top 4, top 6 teams, whatever they decide to do this season. But there's some good players who don't play at the top of high, and there's a lot of bad players who play in high as well.
Skeet says here, the captain system is self-moderating, so it's the games will only be as bad as the captains choose to make them.
That's not really entirely true. It will help it a long way, but the way pickup 2 always was, it's not like you would have 20 people waiting to play. In the absolute peak, you would have maybe 2 pickups going on, overlapping and this kind of thing. But realistically, after the initial rush, this is probably going to settle down to the same kind of place you were in kind of pickup 2's median, where kind of 10 people are added and you have to message your guy and your friends to see yo, we almost got a game going, come play, and then you just get your 12th guy and you start. And it doesn't matter how good or bad you are, you're going to be in either way. It's captains can stop you from playing classes you're shit at or whatever like this. It's a good way of moderating that. But if a player is questionable, his place there is questionable, then that system alone isn't really going to do anything, because a lot of the time there's only going to be 12 people added.
And it might not even limit the classes that people are playing. If you've got a situation where 12 people have added up, but you've got a chronic lack of demo men or something, some 2 guys have decided to off class onto demo man and add up as the demo slots, but you don't actually have anybody good enough to play demo at a prem level, then you're forced to pick somebody who wouldn't have been allowed to play demo man in a pickup 2 scenario. So it only works if you've got an excess of players added up.
As a player, if you add up to this, can you pick that I only want to play this class, or can the captain just pick you on anything?
You pick the classes, but the captain can overrule it.
Ooh.
So we have a lot of fun. Yeah, we have a lot of fun in the American TF2 PugMe, just picking players for medic who haven't added up for medic at all, and just seeing whether they join the pickup.
Well, for me, I'd often not add up at all if my main class isn't available, because I only do it to practice. So I wouldn't want to join a PugMe and have to play demo.
But the thing is, it was never captains before. Now it's if you see whatever the fuck you're maining these days, generally you'll be one of the best players there, so they're gonna want you on your main, I guess.
But if I added Solly, I doubt I would get to Rome. I would have to pocket. I don't know.
Or you could captain, and then you could just pick the teams around you.
How does that work with the captain's thing? Is there some kind of punishment for being a shit captain, or
I don't think there was.
Captain
there was in TF2 mix, and I think it would be a simple thing for him to add something like that in. But at the moment, the way that TF2 PugMe works is that the admins can limit people to stop them captaining, and I think you have to have a certain amount of games in order to captain. But apart from that, there's nothing punishing you. TF2 mix had a punishment for if you captained the losing team in a 5-0, then you weren't allowed to captain for a certain amount of games or something like that, which I think is a good system.
And what about soldiers adding up? Are you just adding a soldier, or are you adding as pocket roamer?
Yeah, you added pocket or roamer.
Yeah. There goes Zebbo.
Yeah, but people won't pick me as roamer because they're rude.
Well, I think most people would. Most people will abide by what you've chosen unless it's either retarded or they don't have enough people, so they have to pick somebody on a class that they don't have.
Who's going to be added as roamer that is going to get picked over you? Because for any sensible captain, it's surely going to work. You see positions, you pick the best player for the positions they're added if it's possible first.
As well, it's not if 12 people added up on Roma, it's not going to start the game. You have to have enough players on each class because otherwise it'd just be dumb.
I would love to cast that game, but like this is an interesting thread we've stumbled upon, but I'm aware that it's getting late too. We've got like an embarrassment of riches right now. There's so many ways to play competitive outside of officials and stuff, but I want to move towards the finish line, guys. We've talked about Highlander, Deutschland, Season 8, Season 21, I-55 in a sort of roundabout way. There's some really big things going to be happening, I guess, for EU teams, the top EU LAN teams, as we move nearer to August. We had Serotone pitching his TLR fundraiser. Send Shadowburn to LAN. Everyone wants to see that, and advanced lobbies. So I think that's it's pretty much it.
Coming up.
Oh, playoffs!
One thing I was wondering, by the way, I don't know if it came up earlier. Was it gonna, like, I watch a lot of NA fully charged things, and they are talking a lot about our NA teams gonna be the European teams. So what do you think from the European side? Are you gonna be able to challenge Froyotech or even Ascent?
Yeah, we beat Ascent with fucking on the American server, man. That's easy shit.
True. But like, what about Benny's team? Benny is always proven to
Benny's
come
the
up huge.
greatest. There's not much you can do about Benny.
We love you, buddy.
But like, they're talking about how Froyotech has been staying together for over a year, right? And these European teams are pretty much just forming, or not even forming, like kaidus. So yeah, like, are you like, even if kaidus gets like two really strong team, if kaidus really gets two really good scouts or something, or Roma, is he gonna be able to challenge the Froyotech guys?
Well, like for example, look at our team. Like me, Stark Rib, I've played with Tech previously, I've played with Flippy previously. Like we've been around, we've played together. So I don't
what
know.
you're saying
is
the latest Europug dream team.
Have you won anything?
Yeah. I have never won an ETF12 season.
You want me to put my faith in you to beat Froyotech?
I've been up there though. I got second like 10 times.
How many? Like,
yeah, I won second. That's nothing. That's easy.
Just a quick thought. Like, it's probably not the time or the place, but it just occurred to me. Like, how many people playing in Prem at the moment have actually won a season of Prem in the past? It's not that many.
I can only think of you right away.
I can't think of anyone.
But Tech too.
Did he? What team?
With Epsilon last team. Or last season.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
or
Tech.
Before LAN. Yeah.
I truly can't think of anyone else though, off the top of my head. Anyway.
It has kind of been like
it's
the
quad.
same kind of
Big boy quad, you know.
It's kind of been the same teams and the same people winning it for quite a while though. Like second, third, fourth, they kind of switch around a lot more than the top one does.
Oh yeah, right.
Rib. But
it's really not that many.
Walters is champ.
Quad never won the ETF tool. Like he joined Epsilon for LAN, and then it was in Infused, and they got second forever.
Infused won once. Did they not have quad then?
Nah, wasn't that with Cookie?
Oh, probably yeah.
Well, that doesn't really matter.
Either way, it's just something I thought of. There's not that many. It's quite a surprisingly few amount of people, but I guess it's going to change in a month. There'll be 6 new people, maybe. Anyway, carry on.
What should we draw from this? Are you saying the ETFL Premiership is worse than ever?
No, I don't. How do we even get onto
Or in
this?
a new generation?
It just occurred to
You
me
started
like a
it,
second
man.
ago.
Oh,
I don't even know how I got into this topic.
You brought it up, yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
something
you brought it
triggered
up
something. What were we talking about before then? Because something triggered me to think of that.
Stinson was
I've got a
quizzing
second
We're
me.
talking
Hey,
about
yeah.
Americans and how they relate and compete to EU teams.
I don't know. Something just triggered it. But it's
Can
interesting,
you beat
right?
Banny, Kaidus? Can you beat Banny? Is the question.
Can you
Kaidus.
beat Benny? Yeah, are you a better demo man than Benny?
Banny doesn't play demo. Banny plays scout.
Yeah, but are you a better demo man than Banny, Kaidus?
Well, Banny plays
Answer
scout, so
the
I guess by
question.
default,
His name is Benny.
I have statistically better demo man performances than him over the last year because he didn't play the class. So there you go.
Fair enough.
But I don't know
Are
how
you
I got
gonna-
onto that, but it's interesting, right?
Are you going to beat 4G at LAN with your new super team featuring Mike and Nox? Confirm,
I'll
deny.
sell for participating at this point. I hope there's medals for that.
Okay. Let me run through a few things that are coming up in the immediate future. Tomorrow there is going to be that ETFTL Highlander Season 8 award show. I think that's on Blackout. John's giving me the details here. CJ, Asadorf, Kazul, Hearts, Bulo and Hildreth will all be talking heads, talking about the season gone by, and I'm sure talking about Deutschland too. There's a Deutschland fundraiser show match on Sunday, I guess, at 20 CET.
Yes.
Fungi's
Mega
gonna be
against.
playing in it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna play on Saturday as well, actually, in the advanced lobby show match for Highlander.
Oh yeah, that's happening on Saturday, 20
Against
CST.
Dog.
Isn't there also a show match against Yanks on Sunday?
Not until next Sunday.
Ah,
we
okay.
couldn't find couldn't schedule one for this Sunday, so that works well for Deutschland.
Yeah.
We might
Next
make one
Sunday
happen
we're
anyway.
playing Ascent.
Yeah, on the 28th, TLR gonna step up and play Ascent. That's gonna be a sick game. I've heard Sideshow and Gex are gonna cast it.
Big casting boys. I'm
That's
hyped
something
to
we
cast
forgot
with
to mention
guests,
actually. Gex is confirmed to go to I-55, so like,
which is incredible.
Is that real?
He's just
100%?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
he
He's
tweeted
booked
it
his
out.
ticket.
Oh, by the way-
We'll enjoy it in Prague, mate. See ya.
so we're gonna have
Unrequired.
the most professional caster in TF2 at LAN. It's gonna be super slick.
By the way, with Byte playing on Saturday in the Sixes advanced lobbies and casting, I think it was yesterday or so. Is there potential comeback? Like, is he coming to I-55? Is there something? Gossip or Sideshow?
He's a jackass, man. Like at the start of season 20, he was like, "Oh, I want to cast some games." I fucking asked him like 5 games in a row, "Do you want to cast by?" And he just ignores me. Then he pops up and says he wants to cast this fucking Phoenix game out of the blue. So I don't know what's going on in that mind. That
If he
man's
turns
head.
up to I-55, I'm gonna get everyone to sign him a welcome back card, and we will never say that he's leaving the scene ever again.
He actually said in Slack that he didn't think he'd be at I-55, but he'd be interested in casting at I-58. So, you know, he's clearly got a belief in the TF2 scene, but he doesn't want to be involved in like the sort of management or organising all that jazz, which Dashner has kindly stepped up to do. But yeah, that advanced lobbies thing, Saturday 20 CT. Need to get these events up on teamfortress.tv. But also, hopefully, there's at least a double cast happening tomorrow, potentially a triple cast. TLR 425. Reason versus Danger Dogs, and Lego versus Phoenix. Sideshow, you're going to be
20.
Sideshow, you're going to be casting with Molesto. Which game did you say you were going to do?
Danger Dogs against Reason,
yeah.
I think, yeah.
So the 2 games we're definitely going to cast are 425 TLR and Danger Dogs Reason. And the 3rd game, as yet unconfirmed, I don't have Slack going right now, but we're trying to find a streamer. If anyone's out there that wants to stream for Team Fortress TV, please. We have fucking shit tons of casters and not enough streamers. Send us a message, contact me, add me on Steam, and I'll hook you up. But yeah, that's all I can think of right now. I'm sure there's some ESEA games happening. Or the TF2 update, kill the client again.
The Americans actually casting anything, because like recently there's been barely any games cast from them.
Yeah, well, partly because the ESEA client just messes up all the time, but also because I think Mana is, I don't know, busy or something, and he's the guy who normally schedules the games. Yeah, and Dashner normally picks up his slack whenever he doesn't schedule games, but he's been really busy doing all the CSGO stuff.
Confirmed by the mirror bot there, Keith says that ESA invite Ascent versus the $5 club. I see it here right now. I'm going to paste it in Twitch chat, but that's starting 4 hours from now, in fact.
If the ESEA client isn't broken by the TF2 update, which has just come out.
Fingers crossed.
Jason, are you looking forward to that game?
I had no idea it was going on until he told me about it.
Kaidus is the curse. Whenever I want to watch a game and Kaidus says, "Oh, this is going to be sick," or "Yeah, I'll stay up and watch it, it'll be sick," never happens.
Every time it
never
just gets cancelled.
Happens.
It's like 5 for 5 at this stage.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Every time we've sat up until 4 AM and we're like, has it really been cancelled again? This is unbelievable.
You cast a few games, didn't you, Sideshow?
Yeah, because I stay up until 4 AM and then I'm like, well, what the hell else am I supposed to do? I might as well cast a completely different game that happens to be going on.
Is the season a success? Is it a good one?
It is, actually. I really like it. Like this is the first season that I've really been into the NA scene. Like I used to keep tabs on it a little bit and see just at the top, like the top 3, top 4, whenever they had a top 4. And but this is the first season where I've really taken an interest, mostly due to Saloon and Fantasy TF2 as well. Just like I've got a personal investment in it. So, yeah, so I've been taking more of an interest, and I've really enjoyed it. I think it's as interesting as ETFL this season, if not slightly more. The lower teams in invite seem to... There seems to be less of a skill gap between top and bottom.
Who is the North American Lupus?
Who's the North American Lupus? I don't even know.
Who's the figure of ridicule in the invite?
The Hawaii Beach Vacation and whoever manages to play for them. I don't even know the players on that team. I just try and avoid them on fantasy at all costs because they lose every game 5-0.
Did we talk about fantasy in the last Fully Charged? Because if we haven't mentioned it all, that is a big misstep. But I've just let my fantasy team go to shit. I haven't even paying attention. But you guys can head over to beta.fantasytf2.com, right? That's the URL. Maybe I'll find it.
Yeah, beta.fantasytf2.com, yep.
And you can get involved with Fantasy TF2 there for invite and premiership. Yeah, definitely check that out. I think that's it. We're going to go to the shoutouts right now. I'm throwing it over to Stinson out. Who do you want to send some love to, man? What do you want to promote?
I want to promote Deutschland, obviously. It is going to be an amazing, and I think the very first Highlander exclusive LAN in Europe, at least. You should definitely come. You can sign up regardless of any skill level, any age. I mean, you have to be above 16, but you should definitely come to Germany. It's going to be an amazing community event. We are going to have, as a lot of people who have been around, like, obviously, fair enough, Prem Pender, all these guys. We're going to have a lot of high and mid teams as well. Don't hesitate. If you have any questions, hit me up on Steam. We are going to cover pretty much every game. We're trying to figure out a schedule for John and the Blackout Gaming TV guys, that we can cast every single game live from LAN as well. So check out our Indiegogo campaign on ETF2 as well. And shout out to Doctors for Mediocrity, my Highlander team. You're the greatest. And to John, who does a lot of work for TF2 in general.
Serotone, I brought you here to bring the drama. Who do you want to call out before we close the show?
I want to call out my team for baiting me into coming on this show. Like, really, I'm like the least suitable person on our team to come here, but okay.
I wanted to see what you were all about, Serotone, and you've impressed me. You're a fine young gentleman.
Thank you.
What other shout-outs would you like to give?
I want to shout out to everyone who's donated to our fundraiser so far, especially Sepulch, who's donated again. He donated once and he just donated during this show. So big shout out to him. Shout out to the TFTV people and everyone involved in all the fundraisers. Shout out to The Last Resort and our sponsors. Shout out to Danger Dogs and Techno and Onion Boy. That's it.
Zebbosai, I'm gonna catch you sleeping there.
Shout out to Nerd Rage and Knutsson.
Sideshow.
Shout out to Buttnose for putting some work in organising this TF2 Pug Me thingy-majiggy. Again, if anybody has a server or two, please add me or Buttnose on Steam and we will try and sort it out for Dango. And shout out to Autismo Larismo, who is an excellent chap.
Autism, alright. Foungi, you're still here, right?
Yeah, I am. Shout out to Tani for being a lovely little Finn, and to Kikalta for helping us organise all this stuff. Actually, to Hearts, Shala, and Blooddrunk as well, for helping organising Deutschland. And just because Stinson didn't mention it, we get some amazing perks on a fundraiser. For example, signed postcards, supporter medals, t-shirts, all that shit. You can even name houses.
In-game medals, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't resist a good TF2 item, man. Maybe.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, I've already donated. What the fuck? I can't believe I donated to the Deutschland fundraiser and not the I-55 ones. I'm such an idiot.
Donate more, because if you donate 100 euros, if you donate 100 euros, you're gonna get casted by Admirable. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
You cast your own match.
Definitely get that one.
That'd be interesting.
Kaidus, do you want to make a plea for players for your LAN team? Now's the time.
No, I think everything's going to be just
got it
fine.
covered, mate.
Everything's going to be just fine, or everything's going to completely go to shit and we're not going to go. There's only really two options there. So, yeah. Shout out to Happy Cool though, because he's a little bitch.
And John, you said people can actually hear you tonight for the
They can.
So, John, the first time ever, I'm going to ask you for your shout outs.
Shout out to Quintosh. That's it.
That fucking
What an
jackass.
appearance!
He flies in and cabers me anytime I play HL. What a jerk. I'm going to shout out to Gentleman John and Ari. You know, you're my heroes. That's it for tonight. We're probably going to have a further I-55, probably many further I-55 fully charged. I think the NA one's sort of dead at the minute with the Getaway and Buick downing tools. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to what they say in Slack, but well, we've got a responsibility, Sideshow. We've got to keep the hype train rolling.
We absolutely do. I also want to just shout out Master Noob at the end here, who runs TF2 Center, because I've just found the servers for TF2 Pugme. He's kindly provided them, so props to that guy. So yeah, tune in on Saturday as well, when we will be showcasing TF2 Center's new advanced lobby feature. Woo! It'll be shiny and things.
We're gonna get drunk.
Well, you might get drunk. It depends if you lose the drinking game.
Okay. Keep an eye on teamfortress.tv /schedule. Follow us on Twitter. We're really making a PR drive. This is just the beginning of our PR campaign. We've seemed to have recruited like loads of artistic and creative people. There are big plans for teamfortress.tv. Peace out. I'm X10. I'll see you next time.